Every year we get a couple dozen new Ninjago sets, and usually we do get some form of promotional media around them, whether they're just regular advertisements or simply just something else. We do get some interesting things that do come from that, but it does feel like within the recent years of the show, there has been a particular type of promotion that still exists, but has gone somewhat by the wayside. And that is the concept of getting product animations. What we got back in the day for Ninjago, or more particularly in the realm of rebooted through until the events of Sons of Garmadon, was set animations that demonstrated specific sets and really did go into what actually made them what they were. These were known as product animations, and they were extremely popular amongst the Ninjago community. But they just don't necessarily exist anymore. They just don't really have a place within Ninjago, and I think that is kind of a shame. We do still get one or two every now and then, but not really anymore. So in today's video, I'm going to show you what we used to get when it did come to Ninjago product animations, show where the decline did begin, and show what we have at present day, and just discuss the potential of whether or not it could really come back. So let me not waste any more of your time, and let's talk about the lost art of Ninjago product animations. So as long as the copyright system doesn't just completely annihilate this video, I'm just going to show you the product animations that we used to get. So on screen, I hope you enjoy. These product animations did mainly begin when it did come to Rebooted. We did get some for the very early seasons, but they were in a very different style. This particular sense of product animation, this is where it did begin, and these were absolutely amazing. These were fully done animations that have the Lego form and the entirety of the Lego set, and was a great way of demonstrating what was actually taking place within the set itself. These were also fairly detailed for what they were, because it wasn't just some blank slate that just described what the set was. These took place, or more specifically, these animations took place within the respective area that would make sense for the season, like Borg Tower, or Ninjago City, or the jungles of Chen's Island, or Styx for that matter. These were really well done for the time and still to this very day. They were a demonstration on the minifigures that you got, the location or the vehicle or the dragon that you had. It demonstrated the play features and how you could face off the heroes and the villains of the set respectively. You got to really have a demonstration on what was truly to offer. These were just really fun. I distinctly remember watching the season 4 and the season 5 product animations specifically a lot when I was a kid. They were exciting and they were things that I wanted to recreate when I actually did get the set in hand. What made these ones really unique as well was the fact that they had a specific animation for every set. It didn't matter if it was the biggest set or the smallest set. You had animations of Kai and an Anaconda warrior on a very small build, and then to the likes of seeing the DBX deploy and fight off against the Anaconda and Pythor. These were just really fantastic things to actually see, and definitely did work in terms of the hype. This continued through the rest of the classic era of Ninjago, because not only was it season 3, 4 and 5, we also got the full product animation for every single set for season 6, season 7, Way, and Day of the Departed. All of them just fully demonstrating what actually was to offer within the wave respectively, and they all just looked fantastic. I really can't emphasize enough how good these do truly look. But with the release of the movie, we saw a distinct shift. We did still get a product animation for every single set, and the thing is that the only thing that necessarily changed was the actual art style of the animation. It went from looking in similar vein to the show itself, but still maintaining that Lego look, to actually being more in line with what the movie had to offer. They looked distinctly like the movie aesthetic. It had that feel, and it actually was pretty good and definitely did line up for the movie. So there wasn't inherently a problem with these animations in my opinion, but it was certainly did see where things did begin to change. Because then we got to season 8. Season 8 came out and it did start to give us some product animations. We did receive a fair handful of them, but the thing is that again, we did see those notable distinct changes. For example, we did actually get the stop motion type style or movie type style actually go into the season 8 ones, which wasn't really a good representation of the actual season itself, because it actually did put a lot of fear into people's minds, because to be that would actually be what happened to the show itself. The other thing in particular that did actually begin to happen here, simply put, was that you did actually have just the odd set or two that was missing. But that cycle only became worse and worse and worse. Season 9, we did get to see a bit of a return to form, but with the more movie-like element, but again, less sets were being represented, which was fine, but definitely did start to feel a little bit like a downside. But again, only continuing to get worse and worse and worse. Because then come the events of March of the Oni, the Legacy line, and also just the 11-minute era, we maybe got 1 or 2 animations per wave, but the thing is that they just stopped really doing them. The quality noticeably decreased. We started just getting much less for what we actually have. I distinctly remember just seeing ones for the Ice chapter, where it just did look poor. And then they just kind of got phased out in basically the entirety. We lost product animations overall. We lost them for Seabound. We didn't get any island ones. We didn't get anything for Crystallized. And that really sucked. That really did feel like a downside. It felt like it was the end of an era, and we just saw the slow decline of something that was once very much cherished. But luckily it seems to be that the story didn't have to end there. Because we've now come into the Age of Dragons Rising, where whilst it's not what it used to be, it seems to actually be somewhat coming back. We got an animation for some of the Season 1 sets, we've gotten some for some of the Season 4 sets, we've actually received some stuff that actually does look pretty nice, and something that does look pretty cool, and honestly, back to the higher quality that we would expect. I really am happy with some of the ones we've gotten in recent time, and they're even now using non-LEGO elements in these animations. Some of the Season 4 ones, for example, we actually get to see water, we get to see ice, we get to see all of these cool spinjitzu effects, and that is really cool. Actually feels like something that I would love when I was a kid. And this is not as a nostalgia thing, but just simply put down to a quality thing. It's really nice quality stuff that we're now getting in Dragons Rising again, not to what my opinion is the standard as before, but definitely up there. It feels like they're actually going back into what made these product animations so successful and so popular back in the day, demonstrating what a set is truly capable of, demonstrating the features, the minifigures, everything about it that does go into it, and then demonstrating some cool fight scene between the two factions warring at each other. This is, in my opinion, just a massive net positive. Stuff that I love to see when it comes to Ninjago, and the type of external media that I think is the most cherished when it does come to the community. But unfortunately, I have to go back to the original point. Whilst I do think that there is a return to form happening nowadays, it really does just feel like the art of it has just been lost. Whilst there is some returning elements now that I do think are fantastic, we still don't have every set being shown off. We still don't have every feature of the set being shown off. There is still a way to go, but with the current track record, I think it is genuinely possible. But I do think that besides that, it does still stand to show, in my opinion, that the art of Ninjago's product animations have truly been lost to time. I really do think we have passed the point where they really have become prominent, and I do think that whilst they can still exist, it will never be at the capacity that they once did. It was something that people loved when they released back in the day, but nowadays, I don't even think people know about them existing. But on overall, I'm still very happy that they do still exist in some capacity. I'm happy that I can look back at these old ones and have a good time. I'm glad that I can appreciate this art form once again in the modern day. I'm hoping that we get more in the future, but who knows? But I would love to know. Do you like these Ninjago product animations? Do you dislike them? Are they something that you would rather not see when it comes to Ninjago promotion? I would love to know what you think, because am I just simply really over-exaggerating something that I personally like? I don't know. But that's why I want to know what you think. But thank you very much for watching the video, and I do hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider subscribing. I love discussing Ninjago with more people, and if you do want to support the channel any further, which you do not have to, you could always become a channel member and join the legends that you see on screen. Each of your support means the absolute world to me, and I truly cannot thank you enough. But like I said, that's about it for today, and take care. Okay,